All right. So I want to say a big shout out to all the persons who are saying that they don't have Twitter, but they still want to listen in. So I want to say a big shout out to those persons. And I want to say welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It. And today's topic is something that's something that I think a lot of Jamaicans um they complain about it, but nobody really talks about it. And complaining about it without having a discussion, a constructive discussion, without having plans in place, without giving proper reasons, is one of the reasons why you can't have change. You can't have change without having a constructive conversation about what's happening in society. So persons will persons would always want to say, you know what, and you're complaining in large groups without going through the formal process for to have change. So you need to have a formal discussion, and I seek to use my platform as listen, I hear what the people are talking about, and once people talk about it, realize we need to have a discussion. So for the person on the outside, big up yourself. You guys need to get Twitter because a lot of you on my WhatsApp keep telling me, I'm listening, but I don't have Twitter. You guys need to come over to the Twitter world. All right. So, say big up to Gavin. Big up to Gavin, legendary G. Um, big up to our resident co-host Martin. Um, so yeah. So we're gonna be talking about should there be a cutoff time for dancehall slash reggae events in Jamaica? Why or why not? Because persons are saying that listen, 2 o'clock is not enough time. Some persons are saying, listen, people need to come out earlier so the party can start early and end early. And I agree with both. Um, but there's a conditions apply to it. So I'd say, of course, 2 o'clock is enough time for some events. Even 12 o'clock is enough time for some events. But it depends on the type of event. So regular events should have a specific cutoff time, and a bigger event can have a longer cutoff time. Hey Martin, morning. I know you're feeling under the weather from our last conversation. Um, what are your thoughts on this?
Hey, morning everyone. Thanks again for joining. Feeling a little bit better. I took some tablets, so 70% back to normal. So I'm in two minds about this kind of situation. For those who don't know or those who knew me, I have background in nightclub management. This is one of my first things doing for work during college and stuff, and after college. It again depends on the event and the location, I think should dictate the time. Personally, with COVID, we realized that we can go out early and party early and get back inside early. And I, for one, I don't want to show my age, but I'm for the early parties at this moment. I think by 12, 1 o'clock, I should be heading home to bed because I can at least still have a functioning day the following day. Where it draws the line for me is we have created so much in the music industry that has been recognized globally, and for us not to have some kind of red light district or some kind of adult district that is not necessarily ran 24/7, but events can be held regardless of time is just abysmal failure, I think, on the part of the government and the part of the entertainment industry as something that should have been lobbied for years ago. Something I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the idea of like a Bourbon Street in New Orleans where they're partying 24/7 there. or the red light district in Amsterdam. Something that is not too far out of the town space, but far enough for you not to be disturbing your neighbors or anyone. You know what I mean? And it's a nice strip. Like Back Road would be like a perfect strip idea if it could be developed in that way. Port Royal Strip, I think, is another great area. If it wasn't for the airport or maybe past the airport, there is if there is enough land there to do something like that. Because you don't want your patrons to be traveling very far for long distance of time to go to the event, and you want it to be kind of a quick thing. You can just pop in, spend 20 minutes, or 30 minutes or hour and move on. I've tried doing like a bar crawl in Kingston, and just the idea of commuting to the different bars and having a drink and moving on, it's very hard. I prefer doing it in Ochiris where you can just literally walk from bar to bar, place to place, have a drink, keep it moving. But yeah, that's what I think. We don't need cutoff times, but we need designated party areas.
Well, I agree with that because as I was saying, you see, you talk about the age thing. I am a little bit older than you are, and I can say that growing up, I remember that when events were being held, like I'm gonna keep a party, and 12 o'clock the sound string up already,
Yeah.
and 6 o'clock one set of people drunk, 20 case of Heineken and a red stripe done sell off. 20 bottle of white rum done. A man a come from work, him can stop and catch you 6 o'clock and stay till 6 to 8. And him catch the little piece of the party there. And then, the night crowd come out 8 o'clock. And by 10, 11 o'clock, them people are done sweat up and, you know, all who wind up, and all who get drunk, get drunk. And by 12 o'clock, people can see them have a full on party and
Yeah.
enjoy themselves and gone home. Because during COVID, I day party keep like crazy, early party keep like crazy. So I am not against like what you're saying. I'm not against or entirely for the cutoff time. But I'm saying in residential areas or in certain areas where people have to have to be doing certain things, you have to have rules and restrictions.
Right.
Um,
Respect your
and
neighbors.
one of the things that we don't have in Jamaica, we don't have like day bars and we don't have like
Bars,
yeah, we
the
don't have like
eases.
day, day bars and day clubs and and venues where it is sealed off in sense of for the sound not to get out. So it's soundproof. We don't have soundproof clubs and bars in Jamaica because everybody want them ears to the music as shout out the road,
Mm.
which look you should probably drive past a building, and the only reason why you know that something happened is maybe because it's a couple cars.
Right,
But the building should be so soundproof that when you get in, you say, "Oh, so the music did loud."
right.
That's just my opinion, though. But how how do we get Jamaicans to get in this?
Let me tell you, to be honest, it's not about getting Jamaicans to be into it, because if they build it, they will come, right? So it is a matter of getting the infrastructure here at an affordable price for that, a regular businessman can set this up in his local bar, in his community bar. It don't have to be a club setting. You get what I mean? But again, it goes back to bringing certain items like the soundproof padding that the walls need, the insulation that the walls need to be created out of to keep the sound in. Because again, we know how to do this. I think we are one of the masters of sound. Because if you remember during COVID when Beanie Man and Bounty did their versus, that we were the ones who had to show them how to set up an iPhone so that it captures the sound, and they followed our instructions ever so after with their setup. So we know how to do it. We just don't have the infrastructure in doing it because again, because we are so limited, our ingenuity has brought us to this level so that when we do have the infrastructure, it just propels it tenfold.
Well, I agree with you, you know. But how do we get people, how do we get Jamaicans, regular Jamaicans, to say, listen, come out early? Because who do you blame? Do you blame the selector? You blame the promoter? Do you blame the patrons? Because the blame not it's not pointing fingers, you know, but everybody has a role, and at some point, it has to mean that someone has to draw the final buck. Say, listen, this is where it is, and if you don't come out at this time, then you're gonna miss it. Who calls that line?
It has
Is
to
the
be.
promoter?
I blame the patrons. Here why I blame the patrons. I'm gonna give you a prime example. I was going to Dinner Fridays a couple of times in the year, and it was an early party, or is an early party. So they promoted it. Be there before 8, you get in free. After 8, you pay $1,000. Blah blah blah. So the promoter did their job. So when you get there 8 o'clock or before 8 o'clock, sound everything set up, bar and move people inside, right? So understand the time and understand how to get there, right? And then by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, party I look for shut down, close down, car you get a good 5, 6 hours in. Last week, Friday, I went at 10 and there were 3 cars in the parking lot because again, the time gone. So there's no urgency on the patrons now to get there. So it's whenever we get there, we get there. So it goes now to that party promoters need to say, hey, it's 8 to 12, so that when these patrons turn up at 12, the place is closed and you've wasted your time. Because we understand the concept of going out early. We did it for a couple of years. If you look at certain events, let's say a karaoke, at like Holy Smokes, if you get there at 10 o'clock, you're not getting parking, you know. Because that's an early event, and we understand, say, yo, by 12 o'clock, the place will lock off. So we understand it, it just needs to be enforced by all the promoters. And none of these promoters are going to really band together and do this. Because, again, you have early parties and you have late parties. So just the late people, them just have to just go to late party and let the early persons get an early party. But again, it goes back to having some kind of entertainment strip.
All right, so I agree with
Accommodating
you
all types of
on.
persons.
I agree. All right, so I agree with you on that, you know. But I I blame two persons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because in order to train your patrons, it's like remember, patrons respond to how the industry treats them.
Right.
So if you train your patrons to show up early and say, listen, guys, we know it's still a COVID, but at still the early setting, and like you said, when I reach there at X time, there is nothing. But the promoters want to say, yo, the party slap, or them have the party go until 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, as a part of the entertainment industry, as a person who hosts events myself, I don't want to be out at 2 o'clock. Unless I am at a major so that each go ahead, stop at that party, do my thing, support if I want to support, chill with friends if that's what I'm there to do, and then bounce. I really don't want to be there at 1 o'clock just waiting on the first person to come through the door with a 2 o'clock permit. That don't make no sense.
Yeah.
So I speaking from experience, I was in a round robin prior to um I was in a round robin prior to COVID, and one of the things I respect about that the person who hosted the round robin was every week when 10 minutes to 12 come, yeah, it goes to the selector and say wrap up. So when 12 o'clock come, you hear the selector starts and listen people, you don't have to leave, you don't have to go home, but you have to leave and then tone down and then maybe an extra 5 or 10 minutes, which is acceptable in my book. Um and then 12:30, you can if the promoter for the event is smart, them start pop up from quarter to 12. Start pack up the things that's not gonna be moving right now. Start pack up those things, and by 12:30 you can be out of there. Check off your money. Bar person get them money, or liquor person get their money, and everybody just moves on. So I know it can work, but how do we curb? How do we get a mass adoption of this? Also, I want to say welcome to everyone who's joining. I will have a slow start this week. Go ahead. I see your hand raised. Bad girl summer. Go ahead. I see your hand raised. Go ahead. Summer.
Hi, sorry about that. I think it's been a cultural things for year. Like Jamaicans are late for every event and especially parties. If you see the party start 10 o'clock, say 12 o'clock safe enough to reach. 1 o'clock safe enough to reach, and you just get a few hours. I'm seeing a bit of shift like when they have brunch. They still start a little late. Like Jamaicans are just late people, like regardless of where they're going. Even if your mother say, "Oh, dinner I got done cook by." If it's a family dinner, and them say, "Oh, everybody should be there by 3." You know that don't get there till 5 because it's not gonna be ready till about then. So it's more of a cultural thing. I I don't know if we'll head into the culture where we're actually on time. Because even then, police are still the ones who are granting permits for the parties to go on longer or whatever. 4 o'clock party I done, 5 o'clock party I done, and well, my thing is, I mean, as in for people who know and understand the culture, like what necessarily is the problem with that?
So, what is the ideal time that you want to go?
I don't go to parties. Like I used to, but I don't. Like, I can't bother that life. But
What,
what's
why,
the
why, why,
problem with it per se?
why have you start going to parties?
I just don't like people like that. I don't like people rubbing up on me and just like, yeah. I'm not about that, to be honest.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah, I
So,
want go my bed. If I go like parties or carnival, it's to take pictures of the scenery and colors, and I go back home. But I'm saying like looking at it from outside for somebody who has been at the parties and somebody who no longer parties much.
well, I agree with you that the police are the one granting the permit. But I don't not sure if you joined earlier when I was saying that it depends on the type of event. Um, because if, if it's a Sumfest, you can't expect a Sumfest with 1 million artists that people are paying millions of dollars to these artists to come to this show to just end at 12 or even 2, because unless the performance is gonna start like from in the day like 6 o'clock in the evening, you have to give time for each artist to do their half an hour to an hour set. or at least 45 minute sets at minimum. That's what I think the most of the sets are for at some fest or most of these bigger shows. At least 45 minutes. And then you have to give space at intermission so that persons can you can take a little break from the show so that the people can really make a money. Because during stage shows, most persons forget about the bar, them and focus on the artist. So a show like that really does deserve a later permit. Even go back to 5 o'clock the next day. Even so.
Again,
But
this is
I
this this is where I disagree with you because I like a Summerfest. I love live shows. I love live events.
Mhm.
Right? If the problem that I see with Summerfest is twofold with both the patrons and the artists. Every artist want to close the show. Every artist want to go on 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because that's when they know everyone has arrived. So my solution for this is start Sumfest at 12 or 2 p.m. and ensure that the artists know them time because again you have to do band change, you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go to the bar. You know when your artist is performing. So that's the other thing with let's say a Coachella, you see the lineup, you know what time X person is going on, that person is expected to be on stage at X time. So if you are a patron and you want to see this person, you make sure that you are there at X time. If a
I
Justin Bieber
Exactly,
or a
Mark.
Beyonce can perform at 5 in the afternoon or 6 in the afternoon, I don't see why a Chronix or a Bounty Killer
And
cannot perform around the
that's why
same
I'm telling you, it's a cultural thing. Like that's an
time.
American culture. Americans are tend to be on time. Jamaicans are not. Like they're that's. I'm not gonna say it's impossible for it to happen, but even as a Jamaican, you know, if you see an artist about to perform 1 o'clock, you know, say expect him maybe two. Like you know, it's a cultural thing. We don't have a culture where we're on time. Like barely.
and the promoters need to fix that. But Martin, well, the reason why I would disagree with you starting Sumfest at two
That
in
would
the
work
day, it wouldn't work.
because
It
you
would
know the
only
culture
work
of
if it's a
Sunfest.
holiday. It would work if it's a holiday. Remember,
Yeah.
if I have work or like right now, I have a business. I am not going to leave my business to go and watch artists, no matter how much I rate and want to see that artist.
Mm-hmm.
Right? On a work day. If it's remember people do work on Saturdays. So if you're gonna say it's a Saturday Sunday thing, people work on Saturdays just the same.
Right.
Person Persons might want to see a Jashi, or you can put on Jashi 4 o'clock when me just a leave work. So me need to leave work for go home, go bed, then rush back to probably can't even find parking to then forced to get in. So I think that 7, 8 o'clock is a good time to start the show. I mean, before that, you can have music. The selectors should be there for sure. From God he knows when early. From there, you can have a day session, but
Yes.
it's not a holiday. You, I don't see where I would say let these artists perform from in the day. Because Martin, for example, you're at work during the days. How
I
are
am.
you? How many persons can leave work and say, you know what, I'm gonna leave work, because me want to see my favorite artist. Imagine you have a big artist like Akon, 50 Cent, Eminem, Jay-Z, Beyonce, any one of them. For some person, you say, big artist, we're gonna put them in the day slot. Of course, some people would make the sacrifice too, but at the same time, most of the people who would want to go won't be able to go.
I'm gonna give you two scenarios. So I went to the last Sumfest and I went to see Maroon 5 last year. Now, work gave me, again, it's a cultural thing. Work gave me the Sumfest ticket for the Friday on the Friday, right? And I live and work in Kingston. So I said to them, I'm leaving work now. Clearly, that this is what the purpose of this ticket is for. Granted, they gave me the ticket, so they must expect someone must go home and change and then make it across to the other side of the island. I made it there. I was even on TV. Again, it goes back to the patron and their desire or want to be there. Likewise, I saw Maroon 5 last year in the middle of COVID in Wisconsin. Their show time was 6 in the afternoon. They started performing at 6. We left home from 4:30, drive, get to the venue. I think I walked 4 kilometers from the parking lot just to get to inside the venue after joining all the lines, going through all the COVID procedures, just to get inside to see Maroon 5 perform. At 6:30, I made it inside and got my seat. It goes back to the persons allowing people to go to these events. It goes back to the person, the patron, wanting to see these persons. How I got to Mobile, I went downtown, jump on a taxi to Ocherius, and then when I reached Ocherius at around 8:39, I jump on a next taxi to Mobile, because I wasn't going to drive after work and then can't find parking. I make sure, say, yo, I don't want to have no. I travel so light. I travel my wallet and a knapsack. I never want no hankling of nothing. I never want to try worry about my car, parking. I never want to care about nothing. I go into Sunfest and it's me getting there. My car not watching the show. Me watching the show. So I try to get there as quickly as soon as possible. I know if I get stuck in traffic, I don't know how long I'm going to be there. But if I jump out on a taxi, I can walk it from the town square to the venue. But that's just me. Persons look for the comfort and the ease, so they're not necessarily going to do all of that.
I'm gonna say something about that though, but Gavin has had his hand raised for a
Yeah.
while. Go ahead, Gavin.
Yeah, man. Blessings, each and everyone. Hello.
Yeah,
Blessings,
man.
greetings.
Yes, man. All right. Great discussion. great discussion. First time actually, hearing anybody talk about it, like, in a public forum like this one. I think I don't want to classify it as a problem because people are free will and they do what they want to. And I've being working at a radio station for 14 years, being to Reggae Sumfest and all these major events, I kind of pick up a trend. And just a correction, I think Reggae Sumfest and Rebel Salute, the artists have to perform at a particular time. There has to be like a buffer, like probably a 5 or 10 minutes. But especially for Reggae Sumfest, the hotel where the artist stays, there's a shuttle bus, and the shuttle supposed to take them from the hotel to the venue at a particular time so they can perform on time. So that is a good strategy in terms of formalizing and getting things in structure. However, I think the reggae dancehall culture have something to do with fashion is a part of it, and most time patrons just want to come in when people in at the venue. Nobody no want to turn up early, but want to come in when people there so people can see we when we step in and we look trash and bossy, and I think it have something to do with that. Why we don't really want to come out too early. But I think promoters just have to be a little bit more creative with how they arrange the party and stuff like that. But that isn't a guarantee. But there are stuff that promoters can do, like creative, some giveaways at some early time or something, or something to pull the crowd out. And
I I I am not well. I have to cut you on that one. See, you see, I disagree a little bit with you on that one because when these same artists go overseas to perform, and for example, when this big fuss about the Grammy the other day, when they had to turn up to the Grammy for a specific time, and when they're booked for these overseas shows, and the promoter said, listen, you have to be here by 8:15. They're there from 7:30 for sure. And
Exactly, because they know what the culture there is like. Like
and
they
so,
understand the American culture.
so
what
if
I'm saying specifically for reggae Sumfest, I know this for there has to be on the venue on time, even if there's a 5 minute delay. I know it's hard, you know. So
No man,
they,
I know that I know that there's a show because even with prior to now, even when Sting was being held, there was a time slot for everybody. It's just that because we are so unruly, persons are like, you know what? Yeah, I take 5 more minutes, and then you take 5 minutes more. Don't even you're not realizing, are
yeah,
not looking at the butterfly effect that you're gonna take 5 minutes more in my time, then I'm gonna take 5 minutes more in somebody else's time. So that's 10 minutes gone, out of the next person's time, who might also want to take an additional 5 minutes, and then 15 minutes that gone now. By the time you reach closer to, let's say you start 8 o'clock, when you reach 12 o'clock, if you add 5 minutes to every person's time, 5 minutes 8 o'clock, 5 minutes 9 o'clock, 5 minutes 10 o'clock, 5 minutes 11 o'clock, that's 20 minutes. When you reach 1 o'clock, half an hour gone, that is half of one person's show gone.
definitely. But as I said, what I see Sumfest to do is I think is the best approach to mitigate the problem though, because Sumfest do it well. What they do, the artist is book, they book the artist stay at the hotel, they send the shuttle bus at a particular time to collect the artist and the entourage to the venue. So they shuttle the artist to the venue, so everybody is on time. And like I said, there's a like a 5 or 10 minutes buffer based on traffic and all of that stuff. But there are shuttle buses that take the entertainers and the entourage from from the hotel to the venue. So you don't have that, and that has to do with stage management too. So you have to have that type of people where know how to manage the stage, and it have to do with a lot of respect at Jamaican artists them unruly. So you have to kind of know not only the artists but them road manager, the manager, people around them. You kind of have to have that rapport with them, so the respect strong. So them know say all right, we have to be on time. So it works for some fest, definitely. Rebel Salute, it works also, but Rebel Salute kind of more, you know, more
Relax.
not so stringent on it. With Sting now, we can see say it probably get out of hand a little bit, but definitely for Rebel Salute, you know, them have a church service that keep them on track, and that is very good. So, like I said, promoters have to kind of step it up a bit, and I know sometimes it kind of hard for promoters because you don't really want lock off your event at a certain time, but then again the crowd come 1 o'clock and then you feel like more people are coming in. Yeah, it's a way to make more money and it
If
that
the crowd come 1 o'clock and 1:05, you say, guys, a 1 o'clock permit me get. Boom, cut it off. Next time they will know that they should be there from 10 o'clock.
exactly.
So the promoters should be willing to to
Take a lot.
um take a loss in a sense for a bigger gain in the future. So it's a sacrifice for the persons who were there and say, yo, boy, the party slap. You miss Buju performance, or you miss Jashi performance, or
Yes.
you miss whose performance, and you say, yo, Jano Star, next time, next time you would, well, I know for a fact that I have missed some events where I should have been at a specific time, and when I reach and I hear who perform and how they perform, I feel like I just beat myself because I am now in a position where, like, something I reach early is just because man I say this I got happen and that I got happen. And the reality that I could have been early, that is the sad reality about it. So I wanna end so the promoters should also be blamed in a big way, in a very, very, very big way. It's sad, but I am saying the promoters should be blamed in a big way. Then, then the DJs also should be blamed in another way because the DJs also look at, what, may I play towards the crowd. Of course, play towards the crowd, but if you play towards the crowd and say that it's a 1 o'clock cut off time, so when 1 o'clock, so when 12:30 come, if you did plan to play some Sensi and some Ding Dang and some Skeng or whoever, make sure so you play them. Because if the promoter come and say, listen, me not go over my time, cause me no want have no problem with the police, listen, shut it off. And because in Jamaica, one of the things that we don't follow up on is, you see, like in America and some other countries where if you have a contract with somebody, or if you have a time slot with somebody and then break it, you carry them go court for recoup your money. Jamaicans not that. Jamaicans be like, yo, me just now book him next show. Nope. In in a lot of cases, people sue people for loss of earnings because you show up half an hour late for the show, and people did expect you to be on at 12 while you show up 12:30. So, like a whole heap of things, loss of earnings, damaged reputation, them something there. If we Jamaicans say, listen, if if conscience no show up 2 o'clock for him time slot, listen, me I carry him go court, and one he's made an example of, then you know, so the next time when you reach a court, when you book a artist and them know, so you listen, this can carry me go to court and make can lose money, or they will damage my reputation because this is now a big public thing that may come late for my events them. No- Nobody, I think that will also help to curb the thing. That's just my opinion.
Most definitely. But I think, not to go off the topic a bit, but I think we have another issue in Jamaica, and which you probably can spare the conversation some other times. But the quality of music that we are doing, especially on the dancehall side, we soon not have nobody in our party more than some teenagers. You know, we nah, the DJs them, some of them now play music like we are from Jamaica, like we understand the culture, or we understand where it's coming from. And that's another issue. I realize that being happening. I go to party, I'm still now walk by the car. I play too far, and you can't actually hold a vibe. you know
Well, no, I agree because in every event you have a section for every single thing, every single thing in every event. But if you base it on, and I don't want to specifically cast aside or label any generation
and
as being bad or being the worst or being worse than any other one or more unruly. But the new generation of patrons, listen, if you not play their artist right now, the art artist right now, you think that one. Why with us? With me, I will go. I'll go to a party and you can play some 80s and 90s straight out until it's almost done. Then if you want to play two new songs or so and squeeze it in the last half hour, I am okay with that. Because
Exactly, but you know the song them from the 80s and 90s. They have no idea what the younger generations have no idea what that them not know who Barry Salmon is. Them not know them people there, so them not go
but,
and listen to those stuff.
but
yeah,
the problem is that I did remember, I I I was born in the 80s, so I grew up in the 90s. But still, because of how dancer used to be,
yes,
it means that you used to have to
You
hear the
had to learn
music.
it.
You
Oh,
used to have,
that
so it's not an option. The man them know say when sound string up, you used to have to hear some of them good classic music there. So you don't have an option. And if the party get really hot, then get some really good
yeah,
music.
it's a 20. Alright, look
And the,
at somebody born in 2000 now. So somebody born in 2000 is 20 now, right?
Yeah.
20, 20, 22. Wait, 2000, yeah. They'd be 22 today. I think everybody speaker on and I'm echoing. Everybody mic on.
no, but you see the thing is with music.
So I was saying, I was making a point to say that somebody born in 2000, they are 22 now, and they're not hearing it on the radio all the time. They're not really going anywhere where they're gonna hear it. So if you're gonna play probably 90s dance or like shabarangs and them thing, them don't know them and them not really want to hear them. Them want hear probably them will accept probably early cartel. When you had like Gully Gaza, Beanie Bunty, they
but
might
the
accept that.
But
But they're not.
the problem with that though, what really caused that is the fact that what really caused that is the fact that persons, the DJs, are not playing them.
That's
Because
because
remember,
people don't want to hear them. The DJ realized, say, all
No, I
right,
agree with that.
um,
Bad girl. I agree with that. No, why I disagree with that? I'm a producer. I've worked with young talent, and when you
uh
talk
huh.
to when you talk to a lot of them, they know music. The problem is, as Sir Daly is saying, is that the DJs them know some of them not really do them due diligence. It's like we not pay homage to where the music is coming from. Remember, you know?
yeah,
But
yeah.
why do you think? Why do you
Well,
think
I know.
that some of the DJs don't want to play? Like, what do you think
Why?
the reason is?
No,
Because
because
everybody know one.
there are
Same
factors
reason them don't want to play girl song.
yeah,
Them
there
don't
are other
want to follow
factors
the
that fuel
content.
music, which a lot of people don't want to really touch and talk about, but this is one of the problems. The business side of the industry corrupts the talent side of the industry because there's so much money laundering and there's so much happening behind the scenes with the music because it's easier to just put that money into the music and rotate it than any other business. Then the interest of the art and talent and the quality of music will dumb down because it's all about who can market the music most.
But is
You
it?
know?
As I said, it's
So,
the DJ's fault. You know, it's the DJ's fault
yeah.
because
But you
as
see,
the
I won't put it all on them, all on the DJs too, because it's a
Exactly.
collective responsibility.
okay, all right. Put it this
I
way.
think they're to be blamed, but I wouldn't put it all on them to say that everybody plays a role in it. Like everybody plays a role to what dancehall and reggae culture is today. Like everybody plays a role. The patrons plays a role. The promoter plays a role. The DJs plays a role.
Yes.
All of it
Right.
plays a role.
Put it
Don't
this
Enough
way,
man a
right?
play. Look,
but
some patrons are gonna pay for the money pull up. Them are gonna pay for hear the gun song them and the
But
rifle
listen,
walk and all
but
of that.
listen. I have seen where ting-a-ling-a-ling get money pull up.
yeah,
Big super cat, some super cat song, and some old ninja man get money pull up, and I would do money pull up for those, but I don't really want to waste any money. But the point is, when, like I said, when I was growing up and in the dance hall, they would play the earlier music and incorporate that in the newer music. So
yes.
they would incorporate it. So whether you want to hear it or not, you have to know the history.
Thank
Have to know the history, whether you like it or not.
you.
Know the history. The DJ and the promoter. First thing is that when me go on party and me a hear some 90s, me a stay at the bar and if me buy one flask of rum, no more and buy two because the music nice. Me nah feel jiggle up myself and haggle up myself. Me nah bust no shot. Me nah nothing. And even girl song from in the 90s. Still a good song for bubble pan and drink some
Hot,
music.
hot, hot, hot.
But
No,
Because
we're still
I
not seeing that
oh, you know,
the culture is different now. They don't they literally don't want to hear that. If I'm supposed to say like there's a spy song named Jim Screechy and my she's what? My 16-year-old cousin have no idea what it is and I'm just like, whoa, damn, I thought you'd really know that and she like no and even like some things that I thought, were they would know since they're not very far off, they're 5, 6 years off. They don't know and they're actually not interested in knowing. So you kind of have to cater to the crowd. You kind of
which
have to
is why,
cater to the crowd you're
which is
dealing
why,
with.
which is why
you
the DJ should start to incorporate these things in the music, incorporate all the things in the music,
Into
so
their
that
sessions.
we not say go back to the 80s, Leave so this new generation might not want to go all the way back to the 80s. But if you're born in 2000s, you must at least know 90s music.
Yeah.
but Sir Daly,
I only know those stuff because my father used to have a sunset. So that's how I know about the ska, the mentor. I know those back day thing. I know how, sound system left from country come and town for that. I know that because my father had a sound system, not because of the parties I attended or anything like that. That's why I have an appreciation for it. I know which genres were able to like derive from which genres, like from ska and mentor and all of those.
Rocksteady,
With
reggae.
Exactly. I know all of that because my father had a little sound system, and up to this day him still have a sound system in him house, and him play all of them song there, and him will tell me, yo, whatever, and him two man used to come and play look a rhythm, and everybody would have voice on the same this and that and the instrumentals and all of that. I know that not because if my father never really exposed me to that, I doubt I would have an appreciation for the culture, the history of it all. I probably that go party, and when them start play them thing there, me that just don't want hear it, cause what
but
is that? Me don't know what it is.
all right, but you see the thing is, you see the problem is that it's not that our all right. You see, young people. This is what me observe because I have kids. The foreign media, social media, kind of close out our media. However, even if somebody born in in the 2000 and don't appreciate 90s music, when Rihanna or Chris Brown or somebody where them admire start to sing one 90s song or one 80s song, now them feel appreciated. Whoa, we really a sing that song there. You understand me? Remember Rihanna sample um Richie Stevens one song we do from was in the 1980s or so early 90s with work with Stephen G. Sample the beat. You understand me? Nobody know that song until work. No, it tied to that song. So everybody start go back now and look into it. So this is what I'm saying. Even with Afrobeats, the Africans take our 90s dancehall music and 80s music and sample it and do for them own thing and put for them own flavor and vibe to it. And we rock to it and I wonder why it's so white sweet is so. There are certain things where in our DNA, even if we not listen to it in our culture, it passed down through a lineage. And the DJs, the promoters, everybody's a collective responsibility now to bring back the culture. Because guess what? When I go dance and hear the 90s music or the 80s music, no song were mixed in a 2000, no sound like the 90s and the 80s music. I have a better feeling from the music, than music that we mix forward, you get a better
That's
vibe. You
that's
get
why any Bob Marley can play on any big sound or in any
exactly with a
headphones.
feeling to it where you can't even explain, and that is the difference. So the music water don't know because it's all about the hype. It's all about the hype and no substance. When we used to go dance as a youth and the soundbox a kick, you couldn't stand up. Say I want soundbox. Your whole body a jerk.
Vibration.
Vibration and you feel the energy and the vibe, and then you can feel the ice of our culture when everybody does in them element because the music so nice. Yeah, your mid, yeah, your bass, yeah, your top end, yeah, your everything, yeah, your
Treble.
as everything lay. And that is a problem. That's why I said it's a collective responsibility. And if we not be careful, see that we lose the traction, dance and have the traction there like one time, Afrobeat take over the space. And I tell them 10 years ago, I was trying to be the one who introduce dancehall Afrobeat pan Area FM and they never want allow me to do it 10 years ago. P Square was the first African artist who piqued my interest and me start investigate. You understand? P Square. So all Afro artists who P Square some homage because they were the one who first step outside the box and start to do these things. You understand me? So it's not like our younger generation don't love and appreciate our music. It's just that the DJs them now play it, them now see them lucky into the foreign media, social media is the next thing. However, if Chris Brown starts singing 190 song, them I go jam to it.
And not only that, back in our time, you used to have our reggae artists being called up to perform at the Grammys, to perform at the VMAs, to perform at these events.
Exactly.
Now it's the Afrobeats person because again, we've lost traction, we've lost our sound,
Yeah.
and the Afrobeat has taken over from it.
See,
And I don't think I'm ever going to see, or these kids in their lifetime are ever going to see a Joshi, a Ritical, a Daddy One, whatever else persons do
Skeng.
some
I
kind
like
of
Skeng.
medley
I like Skeng.
and
skeng,
and this
a
a problem
skilly
with our young
bang.
artists too. Them can't perform. Me not have to go on Josh Shona King show to tell us that them cannot perform. We can tell you based on how them voice them song them cannot do.
Skeng is getting better at performing, to be honest. You know, I'm touring UK now, so I might get better.
No,
But I
yes,
mean,
not to cut you back, girl. There's no place in the world you can perform better than Jamaica. Jamaica is the toughest crowd. This is
Toughest crowd. They
universal.
can't please the Jamaican crowd.
mm,
They can't
he's
rock the
Crowd.
getting
Jamaican
World.
he's
crowd.
getting better, and I think as a youngster trying to thrive and grow and build, I feel like Jamaicans themselves, they're pretty tough on him instead of trying to encourage him to be better at performing. Because I remember his first TV public performance, it was trash. It was complete trash. And as a Skank fan, you know, say never it. I was just like, boy, somebody really need to tutor and mentor him. But instead of them saying, you know, show him the ropes and show him how to do better or be better as a
But
performer or an artist,
but
they didn't do
but
that.
how
They
but
just
how many of these artists really want
To
that
humble
tutor?
themselves to be lift to be
Exactly.
Listen,
taught.
Them
a
ego.
lot of a lot of
I
artists.
think he got
I
better. Like I think his performance got better, and even his him and Governor go on tour in UK now, and Governor like even on the stage, Governor say, "Yo, you know, look at you, just like take a little break here or do this here or fix that here,"
no,
and
but
he listened.
governor is a good performer, you know,
He
because
is,
let me tell you,
he is.
governor get training from Idonia. Idonia is a student of the 90s, so Idonia look up
Yeah.
to I
Bounty,
to Bounty,
Beanie,
Beanie,
Sassing.
Sizzler, Ninja Man, all them man who are true performers.
Yes,
If you ever go on Capleton show,
wow.
Capleton and Sizzler,
The
you
And
know
goat.
what
Luciano.
Capleton and Sizzler show, you get a proper workout. Proper,
Prop.
proper workout. Listen, remember the last show me go to see Capleton Rum Festival. As you say, Capleton Flagman deserve some good money because because so Captain all over the place, and I've seen him, Sizzler, listen, Elephant Man, I climb the stage, him interact with them crowd.
Yes,
Them
man.
artists, them first thing now for the man them, adjust the man them. No matter how bad them song be, me can't rate you from your pants, no they are your waist. When your clothes are drop off of you, we
Thank
can't read you.
you.
Because
Farm.
you have to
You can't
interact
farm.
with your fans and you have to pull up your clothes at the same time. That that's my personal view. I can't give you the ratings there where your song give me the energy for give. So your song could have bad enough. But you perform on the stage and instead you reach down and touch all the ladies them on them and cause you sing a nice love song where ladies them love. You have to fix your pants at the same time and then you have your entourage. It's a mixed bag of man with each up behind you.
Like,
I don't agree with that though.
yeah, you're so right. You're so right.
Yeah,
You're so right about that.
as a Skank fan, I can agree with that. I don't necessarily support him pants to down him ankle. Like, me not really get it. Me honestly don't really get it. It's kind of wild. But I think like even Chronic said that are the white people them who the white people them won the Grammy Soldier him say yo enough of them give them a bus and give them like opportunities to thrive and got bigger in the reggae scene. And I don't think like in the dancehall community they're supportive of each other. Like they're really not. They would have preferred tear them down and tell them so how them a trash and this and that instead of proposing solutions to be better. Like you
The,
know.
the,
That dancehall
biggest part of
artists,
the industry is what fuel the fuel, you know. A lot of people
but but,
believe
but it's not. It's not. Is the problem with it? Because if you're following the industry right, because I realize that Jamaicans follow we try to follow the American
yeah,
industry, but we don't follow it right because in America, um, Fat Joe and 50 Cent a beef, but Fat Joe have a song where more Eminem pan, and remember say him a go get Eminem pan it.
yeah, man.
Even though him and 50 Cent a beef and Eminem a Fat Joe artist or whoever, because they realize that the true business has to do with collab, it have to do with teamwork, it
Yep.
have to do with listen, of course, I love the clash thing. But right now, Clash don't make no sense because you cannot have you don't have no producer where I say, yo, here we go on. Beanie and Bounty are Clash. Send the rhythm go give Bounty. Send the rhythm go give Beanie. Send the rhythm go give whoever and whoever are Clash. If two artists are Clash, them not up on the same rhythm again. The juggling not nice. The
It's
juggling
perfect.
the juggling did nice when you know the two artists are beef, and them they on the same rhythm, and you say, "How far tune bad upon the rhythm?" That was what made the Mavado and Cartel thing so nice. That
Yes.
was what made the Bounty and Beanie thing so nice over the years because the
Because
Bounty
the
do a
teeth
song.
already my father sing pan, and this,
Exactly. Bounty do a song and Beanie do a song and Bounty do like Beanie reply and go back on all the same rhythm again and release a next song.
Yes.
And then next producer say, Bounty, me have a rhythm. Boom. Beanie, me have the same rhythm. Boom. And then that was what made dancehall so nice.
But talking about that, remember Bunty and Beanie have the biggest collaboration have done. There's no it's a part Tim Simmer with Pharrell. There's no other collaboration, no other collab in the music where Reach MP, Bunty and Beanie. We even know when they do collab, come like a fool. Them this artist are saying him vocals go that they say can't say the you know when
I
Bunty
mean,
that in the 90s.
Cartel and Mavado did do a collab, Happiest Days of My Life. That was bad too.
But gentlemen, I have to run, but beautiful discussion. Kind of happy we're having these discussion because
Yeah, man. We
there are
have
so
we have a topic
happening with
so it's every week, every Friday morning. We start at 8. So we choose a different topic every week, something that's happening within the space, something where people are talking about, something not necessarily that person don't want to talk about publicly. So we record this and then
yeah,
we're gonna repost it back to YouTube so that persons can be able to, if you did miss it, you can hear what happened and join on our future conversation. I will try if we just get as much persons on as possible. So thank you for joining. Actually we are out
yeah, man.
actually we're
Love
actually out of time now. We are over the time, but I wanted to say thanks to everybody who joined on. And I don't know, I've said big up to Martin because Martin get up early every morning, every Friday morning for join and support. And
that's
Bad Girl Summer has from she joined 2 weeks ago or last week. From she joined the last set of conversation she has been on. And we have persons who are listening. Just listening because they don't sign up for Twitter, and I want to say shout out to those persons as well because you don't know. You have persons who just go and come back and listen to the broadcast after because they don't wake up. But we want to make this a morning thing. Cause morning time, people to get up, be fresh, eat some breakfast, start exercise, you know, and enjoy the rest of their day. So,
yeah, man. Love very very good. We need to communicate and talk about them things that we can have a better future and a better you know industry. So lovely conversation. Enough respect.
all right, all right, all right, all right. Martin, Martin, anything
Yeah,
before we
bro.
leave?
Nah, thanks again, everyone, for joining. See you again next week, Friday. Share the space. We'll try to get it out earlier so you can share it with friends. And even if it helps another friend to sign up for Twitter, and they might not know how.
All right. So, guys, this has been Let's Talk About It. Should there be a cutoff time for dancehall slash reggae events, even though we've gone into a lot of other things? Thank you guys so much. See you on the next one.